So, Lee, in a rare confluence of events, there's a popular movie that you and I have both seen within a year of it coming out. And we're going to talk about Project Hail Mary. Before we do that, can we just get a quick update on what we were talking about last week? Has there been any developments with La Russell? And
I don't think so. I think
his account is still down.
I think it's still down. I saw like a clip of an interview that looked like maybe it was from, several days after his accounts went down.
Yeah.
Where he was like, they were basically like, do you regret anything? And he was like, no. Whew. And that's all when I saw it, I was like, oh, surely this is like from the day it all happened. But then they said something that made me feel like, oh no, this must be like, happened after the latest thing I had seen. Mm-hmm. But he said that he was still on had the same perspective. So
yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, La Russell's a rapper from the Bay Area who just got in hot water, social media controversy. He made a song about how some distasteful people are heaven sent. Actually, I did have an idea about that I wanted to run you by you just real quick. Which I feel like some of your sort of alarm about that situation had to do with the uniqueness of being a social media entrepreneur. And
yeah, I mean, some of my it's just why I'm such a fan of his. Okay. That's all. The
point I was going to make is I kind of feel like anyone who's in a public facing profession would probably have their job in danger if they had said something similar. You know what I mean? It's just to say, definitely. I don't think it was a unique situation to the social media sphere.
Definitely not. It's just, I think all I was meaning is like, it pulls on my heartstrings in a particular way because I relate to him so much and have like looked up to him specifically. It's not like Timothy Chalamet gets in hot water. It's like he's an alien to me. Like you know what I mean? Right. I can't relate to him at all. Yeah. But La Russell is like, I am him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all.
All right, man. Let's talk about Project Hail Mary. What did you think? I know you saw it recently.
Okay. Well, it's a space movie. Mm-hmm. Okay. And space movies are a very specific thing. Interstellar, The Martian, even a movie like Gravity. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
They have a particular tone, a particular vibe. Yes, they're sci-fi, but they usually like try to, stay kind of scientifically accurate and feel kind of real. And there's like an intensity to it. And usually that's what a space movie is. And they don't happen very often. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of like big kind of milestones in culture, at least in my mind. Like the eras of my life in some ways are marked by space movies that come out, like I remember when Gravity came out. I remember when Interstellar came out. So they're big events, at least in my mind. And yeah, this movie just had a way different tone to it. The way I would describe the tone is, drum roll, cute.
Yeah.
I felt like the tone of the movie was cuteness.
Yeah.
And like it felt more like a Disney adventure than like a thriller, like a galactic thriller, which is what those other movies are. And I think there was the first little while in the movie when I hadn't adjusted my expectations yet, I was like, oh, come on, a bunch of times. And then at some point I got it. I was like, oh, we're supposed to suspend our, expectations of reality for this. Yeah. Like this is like a wholesome, fun adventure movie, as opposed to it being like a real guy in space and like having this crazy thing happen. Mm-hmm. And then I was able to just kind of settle in and just enjoy the heartwarming nature of it.
Yeah.
And it was very beautiful. But what's crazy is I've seen a lot of discourse online. People love it. People are loving it.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, oh, this was like, to me, it was I don't want to be demeaning towards the movie, because I think it was cool, and I see what they were going for. I see what they were doing. Uh-huh. And maybe it's because my expectations were a certain way, but to me it was just like another like kind of feel good. There was nothing about it that felt, super memorable to me. Like I don't feel a need to watch it again. Mm-hmm. So yeah, to me it was not that like cultural milestone space movie. It was just like another little heartwarming thing. So I was not very moved or like impressed by it. But I think that the more heartwarming kind of touching parts of it really reached a lot of people. Yeah. And maybe it was like, I don't know, just refreshing to have such kind of acuteness in the midst of an intense, world being space.
Yeah. What did your wife think about it? Did she like it?
She felt exactly identical to what I felt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I read a lot about it after I saw it, and it is like universally loved.
I know. I was also shocked. So do you kind of feel how I feel?
Here's how I felt about it, man. I went with some friends, and if I was there by myself or with my wife, I would have left. I would have walked out.
Yeah, I get that. And that's the other thing I'll say. It felt unnecessarily super long.
Yes. Yeah.
I felt like there was so much in the movie that was drawn out for it just didn't seem necessary.
Yeah.
Like it could have been like an hour shorter.
Yeah.
And it would have been the same movie.
Can I talk you through some of the things that I felt about it that just come from a different perspective?
Please. Yeah.
So I think you're absolutely right. There's this particular genre of movie. The way I've heard it described is hard science fiction. Like when you watch Star Wars, if you think about anything that's happening, the movie crumbles instantly. Right. You have to buy into it on a different level of you're just accepting this is fantasy land and just enjoy the fantasy. But this guy, so I don't know if you know this or not, but this is based on a book. And it's the same guy who wrote The Martian, which is also a book. And I don't think either of us have read either of these books. We've only seen the movies. And the way the books are presented and the way the movies are presented to a certain degree is that it's not a Star Wars where you just ignore all the little details. The details are kind of the draw. It's like this is a very science forward movie. It's about the things that make space dangerous and difficult and how someone who's like really smart and clever can navigate those dangers. And that's kind of the fun of the movie is dealing with the reality of space. And there are, like Interstellar. Did you ever see Arrival? Have you seen Arrival?
Yep, I have.
Those are both movies that fall into the hard science fiction category because the things that ground them in the real world are like real phenomenon that take place. Like for an example, Interstellar, the big one is time dilation and like how time is experienced differently based on what's happening. And in Arrival, it's linguistics. So crazy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A crazy topic to be the primary draw of a science movie. It's how do you communicate?
That was a really interesting. That movie was creepy too.
Yeah, and this movie brushes up against some of those things, but that's all it does. Like, if you think about Interstellar, to me, the most impactful and interesting part of the movie is when the main character comes back to speak to his daughter, who is now like 90 years old. And he's the same age as when he left, essentially. And to me, that's one of the most impactful things I've ever seen on a screen.
Me too.
I will limit the amount of times I watch Interstellar because I don't want to dilute the power of some of the scenes in that movie because they're so strong. But they're based around these hard scientific ideas, and you learn you get interested and learn about those ideas because the movie turns so heavily on those ideas. And there's this marriage of here's a crazy sciencey concept, and here's a narrative that uses that concept to do something really deep and interesting.
Yeah.
And I think I definitely had made the mistake of kind of expecting a little bit of that coming to this movie.
Right.
And it does not do that at all.
No.
All the science stuff is just window dressing. It's just it's just fluff. I think is how I describe it. It's fluff.
Yeah.
Dude, I have like an essay worth of things to say about this movie. So I can keep going if you want me to.
Wait. Why do you? Because like to me, I can just chalk it up to everything you just said. Kind of sums it all up. It's like you think it's going to be a hard science thing, and actually, it's just like reality doesn't really exist. You know, it's just fantasy land. It's like boom, you understand that, you understand the movie. But like, is it something that kind of, for lack of a better word, almost like offends you in a way?
I'm offended
because
my feelings were hurt by this movie.
Because you really value science, and is that why?
It has to do with that. It has to do with the cultural moment we're in. It has to do with some of the things you and I have argued about in the past. Here's. Let me get.
Oh, so I don't have any idea what you're talking about with that. Okay. So please enlighten me.
So let's talk about the main character. Let's talk about this main character. Okay. His name is Grace.
Yeah.
And when you meet him for the first time, he's a middle school scientist, and he appears to be kind of like a little overqualified to be a middle school science teacher. That's what I should have said. And you find out that the reason he's a middle school science teacher is that he used to be a scientist who published papers and did research, but he kind of transgressed. He had some disagreements with some important people, and his career kind of tanked, and he had to become a middle school science teacher. Okay, that's the way the character is set up. Now, me personally, I am a recreational science information consumer. I'm not at all educated in a meaningful way about science, but I love pop science content. Like I like Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast. Listen to it all the time. That sort of stuff. They package up complex ideas for people who don't know much about it, like me, and I really enjoy that. Now, recently, the human ability to look out into space has gone way up. Like, we can see much more than we used to be able to. And one thing we can see a lot of that we didn't used to be able to is what are called exoplanets. Have you heard the term exoplanets before?
No.
Exoplanets are planets like Earth, meaning that they're in this special zone that if you wanted to see life like the life we have on Earth, they would need to be in this distance away from their star. There's this kind of sweet spot. And there's a whole science has begun around exoplanets of finding them, identifying, and trying to learn about them. So it's become a common topic in this world that I live in, which is like science podcasting, is talking about these exoplanets. Okay. Now, everyone who looks at these planets and talks about them, who are experts on it, what they say is we really don't know, and we have no idea what another type of life might look like. No one can tell you this is what, and it's a fun thing to hear them talk about because they hypothesize all these different potential weird ways life could exist that doesn't really look anything like us.
Right. Yeah.
Now this movie comes along, right? And what it says is this guy has a strong idea about what that life might look like, and because of that, this science establishment shunned him and outcast him to the extent that he had to become a middle school teacher. So
is that what his
oh yeah,
is that what his
he has a disagreement with like a major scientist about what alien life might look like, and
I missed that,
and he gets exiled to become a middle school science teacher. So
and what
as an observer of the movie, what you take away from it is the science establishment is this kind of like ossified, fossilized, like ivory tower authority that if you sort of transgress and you challenge them, you can be rejected. Right. And like, as someone who swims in these waters and consumes what the scientific establishment is currently saying about what alien life might look like, it's just the dead opposite of how people are talking about it. And this gets into my personal belief system and all that sort of stuff. But I find that to be I find it to be a harmful stereotype of a scientific authority.
Right.
To say,
I know what you're getting at.
You know what I mean? It's setting up this false image of how the scientific process and scientific opinions work, that there's just some guy who's in charge, and if you have a different opinion than him, you get rejected, and you have to be this sort of like hero who scraps his way into becoming, accepted. And if you're going to be one of these pro-science like movies about how cool science is, don't take a huge dump on the real scientists who do this. Like, I imagine it from one of these people's perspectives. These are people who have been nerds, who have loved this topic their whole life. The reason they're looking for aliens is because they are this Grace guy. There's this guy they're creative. They've just dedicated their whole life to this thing, and their portrayal in the movie are as villains. They're the bad guys in relationship to this character.
Okay, can I just?
Yeah, this is just topic number one of like 7.
Well, I feel like I'm gonna share with you something that will relieve you a little bit. That dynamic never occurred to me. At all. Like, and you never meet any of the people that so-called shunned him. You know, that they're just something that's kind of talked about in like one scene just to kind of establish why he got fired and why he's like an overqualified, you know, middle school teacher. And then it's just on with the story. Yeah. And so it to me, that was very much, it just happens in passing. It's kind of just, I never even put together what exactly the conflict was about. It was just like, oh, he did something that pissed somebody off because of this experimental idea that he had that they were afraid of for whatever reason. And it never occurred to me that it was like, you know, the scientific community, you know, as it is that did that to him. In my mind, I think it probably crossed my subconscious mind that maybe there was like some kind of Area 51 style classified government situation that he got caught up in, and that's why it happened. And then it's more of a government thing. So everything that you're saying to me was literally a blip that just passed right by my mind and never even planted.
That's totally fair. When the movie was happening, I noticed it and all these thoughts occurred to me, but I was like, okay, get over it. It was early in the movie, so I kind of like continued on and sort of enjoyed what was happening in the moment. But I do know that it is feeding, even if you don't realize it at the time, it is just another sort of brick in this wall that in my mind is kind of a public misunderstanding of how science actually works and what sort of people become authorities on their topics, right? And they're people who love it, and they love ideas that contradict what is the commonly held belief. And you know, I chalk it up as a miss by this movie to sort of to villainize those people, even in a subtle way. And I think that's totally fair. Okay. Yeah. All right. Topic number 2.
Do you want to keep going or like?
I mean, you know, we kind of summarize this by calling it fluff, but like. You've got and you know, this is part of the trailer, so I mean we're gonna spoil the whole movie, so it's fine. It's a spoiler. There's an alien, right? And the alien really just turns into another person. There's no fundamental difference between the two of them. It's just it's a buddy comedy, is really what it is.
Yeah, but I think that's it. It's like the movie is like more of a comedy than it is really most other genres that you could put it in. And because I think that was the moment for me. It's like, you know, they're trying to figure out how to communicate, and, you know, Grace kind of through his like little electronic instruments can, you know, provide this like computerized voice for the alien. But then, and that happens in like 10 minutes. And then they just move on and they have zero communication issues whatsoever. And the alien can fully understand the human, but they never explain that part at all. It's just like, okay, you kind of watch the main character figure out how to give the alien a voice. And then we just, all right, on with the story. Now they can talk. Yeah. But they never like, how is the alien understanding him? And when that happened, I was like, oh, this is like a Disney movie. This is like almost like for kids. And it feels like, and so anyway.
And what's frustrating about it is if you're a fan of movies we've talked about already, like Interstellar and Arrival, you can really see the direct references. Like it's obvious that the people who made the movie are inspired and are there. That sometimes they have direct references to specific shots from those movies. And Arrival is amazing because, like, there's a point in Arrival where it's people trying to communicate with the aliens, and at some point they're trying to figure out if the aliens are saying the word for tool or weapon. And they're trying to say if the aliens are saying we are going to use this tool or we're going to use this weapon, which is a huge deal for the people, you know, the humans. And so a huge turning point is just how would you speak to something with which you share no reference to? And it's a deep idea. It's a really deep idea. And this just tosses it out. Just the next thing is just it's a laptop. We have a laptop and now we talk to each other. you know?
Right.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, not to just keep beating a dead horse, but that was an issue. Okay, can we talk about the ending? Can we talk about the ending, dude? So let me ask you this. So he's in space, and throughout most of the movie, the idea is that he's going to die in space. Did you at any point think he was going to die in space?
Yeah, maybe. I thought maybe he would.
Yeah.
Because the alien is so cute, I thought for sure we are going to get a heart-wrenching moment.
Yeah.
Where I thought probably maybe the alien dies, or maybe like the alien's planet dies, and so we have to bring the alien back home to Earth or something. Like, I thought we were going to have like a true kind of like tear-jerking moment, as opposed to like a happily ever after, everybody gets what they want kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought maybe he would die.
It's like the options were he could go back to Earth, which wasn't presented as an option, but like the only options are he goes back to Earth, he dies in space, he goes to the alien's planet.
Right.
And if you think about what happens at the end, first he resigns himself to dying in space, and we all acknowledge as an audience that he's a hero multiple times.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I think the alien is like, "What's the word for brave?" And he calls him brave because he's going to die in space, and that's great. That's like an interesting character arc. I thought that was a relatively well done moment. But then it turns out the alien's got enough fuel to send him back to Earth. So now he's going to Earth as a hero. But on his way, he finds out that there's an issue that they can just invent with the fuel, that he has to go back and save the alien. So now he's a hero for going to save Rocky, right? So this is his third hero path. And then he gets to go back to Rocky's planet, and he teaches all the aliens about humans. And that's his fourth version of a hero. They just hit you with, he does every single ending that you could possibly do, he does. You know what I mean? Like, goes to Earth.
And then he makes it back to Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Decides to die in space, decides to go to Earth, decides to save the alien, decides to go to the alien planet. Everything that could happen to set him up as a hero does. And then he's like he's in like a pullover knit sweater at the end. And he's like smiling with the alien. It's just it gets so like syrupy at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why people are really liking it so much, because it's a contrast.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mean people are liking it just because they just like to drink just straight syrup.
Right.
Like, I think it's like you're used to these kinds of movies being really intense and harsh, and there's tragedy, and we got one that just gave us all the beauty, like visually, of space and like the space movie thing. But you just got like a heartwarming story. You got to see friendship. You got to see loyalty and bravery. And you didn't really have to lose anything. And it just felt good.
Yeah.
Just made your heart feel good. And it was fun to watch. And I think, you and I are probably people, unless it's like, a musical, we're probably not reaching to watch a movie just because it makes us feel fun and good.
Right.
And like, people have comfort movies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll watch like whatever, like 50 First Dates, because it's just a comfort movie. And I can relate to that in some way. You probably might feel that way about like Ratatouille or like Beauty and the Beast.
Totally,
It's like, it's just a comfort movie. It's nothing really bad happens. It all works out in the end, but it makes you feel good. And I think that's what it is for people. And I don't think we really had a space movie that fit into that lane. So I get it. I really get it. It's also I think people are really getting into the aesthetics of it. And I can see that. Like, there was a real color palette to the movie.
Yeah.
And that it's on his knit sweater, that kind of like orange and red.
Yeah.
It's on like the poster of the movie. And that was really beautiful. I walked away from it feeling, like from a storytelling perspective, it was pretty shallow, but like artistically, like I want to just go create like something that sounds rich and like those colors. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can see the draw.
Do you remember that movie that came out like maybe 5 or 6 years ago called Bird Box?
No.
There was this movie that got really popular. It just had this little flash moment for some reason. It was called Bird Box. It was about like it was kind of almost like a monster movie that had to do with birds. Anyway, this movie reminds me of that, and I think it's just a little cultural moment. and that's all it needed to be. But if you get excited about this kind of movie, you might be kind of disappointed in what it actually is. It's not this like you were saying, it's not this epic, sort of cinema changing experience. It's a fun movie in the cultural moment. It's probably good time for a fun movie, in terms of how everyone's doing. And it's kind of a relief, like you were saying, just to enjoy something like that. But someone like me, I'm a total nightmare for that movie because I essentially come in there with like a pen and paper, like ready to learn about some new stuff and to be challenged and to be scared and to have an emotionally poignant moment. And, it's just a mismatch of those expectations versus what it became.
And I'll say too, once Rocky just started to understand the human's language and I had that like, throwing up my hands like, what the hell is this moment? And then I realized like, oh, I can just settle. I can just let go.
Yeah.
I can just let go and I can literally just have fun with this. And then I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, some of the, when you're in the mindset that we're describing, all of the beauty of space doesn't really mean anything if it doesn't feel legit, if it doesn't feel like it could really happen.
Yeah.
But once you get over that, for me, like in the middle of the movie, I let go of it all. Then like some of those, just the visual things were so beautiful, especially in a theater. So yeah, I've totally tapped into like the comfort movie, feel good, vibe. And I liked it, man. I enjoyed, and I don't know, it's me and my wife went and did it as a date. And when we were driving home, I was like, it felt relaxing.
Yeah.
And I love that feeling. That's I so often walk away from movies just kind of feeling like I need to like throw up.
Let me just point out though, that as relaxing as it was, they're introducing their cute alien friend and there's a jump scare. You remember the jump scare?
Yeah.
Like, what are we
Very
doing?
much.
Why is there a jump scare?
Well, it's because you don't, at that point, you don't know yet. Maybe he's dangerous.
It's just such a cheap, it only works once. Next time you watch that movie, that jump scare is meaningless, right? Or like when Ryan Gosling, when they turn the gravity on in the spaceship and he trips over the ledge. Do you remember that? He trips over the ledge. Yeah. It's like the first thing he does. He's like, oh, I'm walking. And then he just falls over. It's why I think it's going to be I don't think anyone's going to really care about it in a year. It's not meant, it doesn't have the depth of like,
Yeah, that's what I would think too, but I also wouldn't have thought that people would love it in general right now.
Yeah.
And so, I think you and I just have probably a very similar blind spot. What I mean? And there could be something about this movie that is truly masterful that we just are not seeing.
Well, now that we've rained on everyone's parade, let's uplift folks with this artist rec that you sent me recently. I just listened to that Ray album. So the artist name is Ray. Dude, there are so many of these artists who have like 50 to 60 million listeners on Spotify that I've never heard of and are somehow not somehow, they're just fantastically popular. You know who's another one? Do you know Zara Larsson?
Only very recently have I heard that name.
Yeah. 60, 70 million listeners on Spotify. Ray, I'm definitely more into Ray than Zara Larsson. Zara Larsson is like, like some modern pop. Just pure, this is trying to be popular. Ray really has like a unique voice.
Oh my God. And the style, are you kidding me? It's like,
how would you describe her to someone who, hasn't heard it?
Okay. Think big band, right? So start with big band, but in a really modernized way where there's like elements of hip hop, but also inject a little bit of like musical theater-esque storytelling. Yeah. She kind of embodies it's very conceptual in the sense like she's telling a very direct story. She's painting the scene of like a woman in a red dress walking in the rain. Like it's very, you're in a scene. And I think the album is very much a concept album that like describes you know, as the album goes on, the journey of this character. And so a lot of it has like I think anytime you're engaging in such direct storytelling, especially when there's like orchestral background, it's going to feel a little musical theater, almost a little burlesque in a way.
Yeah.
But it's very well done. There's elements of hip hop, and like she's kind of rapping sometimes, and sometimes there's just straight up spoken word, and that's where it really kind of feels theatrical. But oh my gosh, it is. I've never heard anything like it. I can't think of something to compare it to. It blew me away. And I've only listened to the first half of the album, but it blew me away, and I'm so interested to hear how you thought of it.
Yeah, and that album, which is called, is it This Music May Contain Hope? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yeah.
The opening song is just spoken word, and it's exactly what you're describing. It's her setting a scene. And I was worried because when you set something up with that much distinct character, it's like she might as well be describing the beginning of like a 70s noir. It's like a woman in a red dress on the streets of Paris, and it's raining, and she's looking for attention, but she can't find it. It's hard to imagine something delivering on that image because it's such a potent thing, and you kind of it's an image that already lives in your head. She's not inventing a new character. This is a character that seems like it's like a archetype. She's setting this archetype. And for the music to actually deliver on that is really hard, and to like feel fresh and exciting. And it goes really hard. And she's just interesting, man. She's got this like this British accent that's very distinct. It's I don't know the exact region of it. And I mean, my first thought is she faking? Is she faking it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Is this just her kind of having fun doing music theater? And it just seems like that's just who she is, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And the production style is very like swing music inspired, plus some rap or, hip hop sensibility. Yeah. And it's just a mishmash of all this stuff kind of swirling together. In each song, you don't know which of those things is going to be the defining characteristic of that song. And
even just structurally, like sections come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it's really not just like, okay, we're in the verse, here's the pre-chorus, here's the chorus, here's the post-chorus, back to the verse. It's like things just come out of left field. It's almost, some of the songs feel just like endless run-on sentences where nothing repeats. Yeah. It's like, so as a listener, it's like you're just getting assaulted, which is so fun. It's like, you can't really passively listen to it. Like it demands your attention.
And she has a slammer hit. She's got she's got a trophy that sits on her musical trophy case of I wrote this and I am now, no matter what else happens, I wrote that and I'm good for that reason.
It's like, I mean, that's a song that very well could be like a generational, like we could be talking about that in the next generation of humans. Like discovering that song, and it's like an iconic like encapsulation of like great art.
It's called
is Where Is My Husband?
Where Is My Husband?
And so had you heard that before,
you have
or
played
did you just
that
hear
for
it
me? And somehow I didn't follow up, months ago.
What was how did it hit you the first time you heard it?
I mean, it blew me away. I don't know how it can't.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know how you listen to that and not feel like there's like a fireworks show in your soul that is exploding outward.
Yes. See, you are. I can never predict.
Really?
I can never predict you ever.
See, here's how you can predict me. If it's a throwback, it's a high likelihood that I'm gonna like it.
No, because if it's a throwback, then your bar is really high.
Yeah.
And you're like, fair. Okay, well, if you're going to do a throwback, then you have to crush it. And if it's like a cheap replica of a throwback, then it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Like a Meghan Trainor, like a kind of like a bubblegum Meghan Trainor thing.
Like when they did, I can't remember it now, but it's got that kind of 50s like love song sound. Anyway. Yeah,
all about that bass.
It's a different one.
No, but, I mean, I will say I liked that single, that particular song so much that the album itself, I had to realize, you got to get into this as a complete work. This isn't 7 different "Where Is My Husband's," you know.
Right.
You gotta buy into her character and her arc and her storytelling.
Yes.
It's gonna be sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm also interested because I've heard you talk about how you usually don't love an orchestral sound in popular music. Like when strings come into a song.
You're referring to my strong aversion for violin outside of orchestral music or outside of classical music.
Like, you know, if you're thinking about like that song by Green Day, I hope you have the time of your life, and then the strings come in. Yeah. Like that kind of gets to you. To me, I'm like, oh yeah, strings. Like, duh, this is, it's a love song. Like, it feels appropriate. But that is like a turnoff for you. So that's just another place where I'm like, oh, you don't know with August. He might think this is like,
dude, that specific Green Day song, since we're talking about it, is it called Time of Your Life?
No, it's Good Riddance.
Good Riddance. I think is a masterpiece. But I can't get over the character that the singer is playing. It's the song, I think, is too good, and it annoys me. Not that it's like that good, but the character annoys me, despite the quality of the song. The line, "I hope you have the time of your life," to me it sounds like kind of like the people I grew up with, which are kind of like middle class, fairly privileged people, just who grew up in a decent school system, but got really caught up in their own lives and took them really seriously. It reminds me of like, like the kid who played guitar and had a great life, but like sang as if things were really hard for him. You know what I mean? Okay. It's like a middle class. It's like a middle class whining.
Does it make you feel that way because you think Billy Joe Armstrong was like a privileged?
No, I think he's I think he's amazing. I just think.
Then what? I don't know. What is it about the lyrics that give you that?
Here's what it is. It's it reminds me of the goth emo style of the 2009, 2007, like Hot Topic. I wear dark clothes and gel my hair in spikes because I want to have that sort of edge to me, but it's undeserved. It's just a style.
What about the song gives you that?
That's who it reminds me of. That's who I feel like that song really spoke to.
Oh, because you knew a bunch of people that were like that loved that song?
Yeah. Oh. That was like a person. That was a person that I like. That was a category of person you could be in my high school. Was the again, middle class, privileged, but life is hard and I wear black clothes because everything seems really hard.
Okay, so it's not just the song itself. Like that song in a vacuum doesn't give you that.
But it just, I mean, it's beautiful, but
like if it came out today and you heard it for the first time, would you still think that?
That's a good question. Probably not as strongly. It's because those people annoyed me.
Don't know. I get that. See, that's exactly what I mean. It's like, how could I ever predict that?
Right.
if someone's asked me, do you think August would like this song?
But does that click with anything to you? Does it kind of have a little bit of a whiny emo kid vibe to it?
No. I mean, it's so interesting because I feel like there are other songs by Green Day that feel that way more. That you probably like, but they sound more punk, and so maybe I don't know. Maybe it doesn't give you the same thing because it's not like a ballad.
Yeah, it's not like touchy feely like that one is.
Yeah, I mean, you have like My Chemical Romance and that stuff.
Yeah, but those are like. If
I was a young boy.
Yeah,
you know that song.
Yeah, and it always kind of. I think it's a great song, but that genre always annoyed me a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
and that song does in the same way is what I'm trying to get across.
Okay.
It's that whiny, do you have the... Actually, no, not that. That's a great song. But it's that whiny emo kid who had no business being whiny.
Right. Well...
But he could write a great song.
To me, the Good Riddance, I don't... Like, in a vacuum, that song just sounds like a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Like, it's only because I know Billy Joe Armstrong that I know it is, like, kind of the emo... It's like the acoustic version of the emo kid.
Yeah.
But in a vacuum, I wouldn't know that at all. I would think freaking Ed Sheeran wrote it,
Yeah, but just to clarify, what I have a strong aversion to is the fiddle. Let's just put it that way.
And yes, I know that.
The fiddle.
I know that. But don't you also have an aversion to like just like in Good Riddance, aside from the emo thing, when the strings come in, are you fine with that?
I'm not. I don't have a categorical aversion to it.
Okay.
I think it can be sappy in a way that it's hard for it to always land. It's hard to land, but
Right.
it has certainly been done. Like, I love Eleanor Rigby.
Well, that's a little
Eleanor
different.
Rigby changes my life every time I listen to it.
I mean, that one's different because the orchestra is like the chords that are being played as
Yeah.
opposed to, the violin kind of behind.
Let
the
me
guitar.
ask you about this song, since we're just on this topic. Bum, 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 bum. Coldplay.
Oh, we used to rule the world.
What is that song called?
I love Viva La
Viva
Vida.
La Vida.
I love that song.
Do you?
Does that bother you? Does that one bother you? Oh yeah, that's got like a whole.
It's
orchestral vibe to
essentially
it.
just them singing over like a string quartet.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. There's something a little. It is cheesy. It's cheesy. I don't think it's a bad song, but
I don't know if I think it's cheesy or not.
I mean, it's kind of like it's like an epic. It's like telling an epic tale,
Right.
And I think that's always a little bit
Yeah.
cheesy.
I think it works.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
I think
it does.
I think it's a slam dunk.
I can't hate on it too bad, but it's a little. It takes itself a little seriously.
See that
like
statement right
Roman
there.
cavalry choirs are singing. Like, chill, dude. You don't have like a choir of battle angels singing your battle hymn as you like go to a Starbucks. You know what I mean? Because that's how most people experience that song, was like on the school bus. It's like, chill out,
I
dog.
mean, you can say that about anything, though. Like, see, this is what I mean. I could never predict that. I could never like if somebody asked me, "Do you think August likes Viva La Vida?" There are two. I mean, there are infinite possibilities in my mind, but there's one where you're like, "Oh my gosh, the like that line, Roman cavalry choirs, like." Just listen to that line. It's so, It's like, it evokes such imagery. It just fits perfectly in the melody. And with like the orchestral backing, it's so intense and like emotional and nostalgic. It's like that. Oh yeah, August could feel that way. But then I'm like, oh yeah, he might think the whole thing just sounds like a worn out Disney soundtrack. And it's like, I can never predict you.
Well, now anyone who felt in a strongly positive way about Project Hail Mary can understand where we're coming from, which is a place in which no one's parade is safe from our rain,
Yeah.
From my rain.
Yeah. I mean, I walked out of the movie theater and I was like 6.5.
Okay.
6.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
But I had a great time.
Yeah.
I had such a good time. And it's like, I think there have been so many times where it's like, I just find myself with an afternoon or whatever that I didn't really plan for. And I'm like, oh, I could go see a movie. And then I look at the movies that are out and it's just 20 options of hot garbage. And it's like, and I'm just going to offend every movie fan on the planet, but it's just, I feel like it's constant slop, not AI slop, but constant garbage being put out in the theater. And I was like, I want to go see a movie, but these are all trash. And this movie, I think, was not trash.
Yeah.
I think I'm glad I saw it. I had a good time. I walked away feeling relaxed and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was fun to be in a theater. It was fun to see it. Will I watch it again? No. Was I a little disappointed? Yeah. But I had so much fun. So that's
I'll tell you, man,
just to sugarcoat it all.
I walked out of that theater furious. The last 20 minutes of that movie, I just spent fantasizing about being in the screening room with like whoever edited that and like the director and like yelling at them. Being like, you guys ruined this movie. This movie is awful because of these terrible decisions you made.
Did you have it out with any of your friends after the movie?
I really
Like,
consciously
did anyone like
tried
it a
not
lot?
to just immediately ruin it for them. But I think they caught my vibe. I feel bad.
Did they like it? Did they like it?
Yeah, they liked it. Yeah, I don't think any of them thought it was a transcendently incredible movie.
But they also didn't think it was like blasphemous.
No. Okay, man, let's wrap it up. That was fun.
Okay. Gosh, I'm sorry. It's so funny to me because I know I've seen you in that situation before.
I was so angry.
You feel,
I was ready to leave. I was going to walk. I swear, I would have left with 30 minutes left in that movie.
I know. I've seen you in that situation where you feel so strongly about something because you can get in that zone where you feel so strong about something, but you're in a situation where kind of the people you're with are in a more casual state of mind and you can't really let off how strongly you feel. Anyway, that's just so funny to me thinking about you in that situation. So had to let that out.
All right, dude.
All right, we can sign off.
Have a good week, man. I'll catch you later.
Till next time. Peace.